Hello, sweet souls. How are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? How is your heart? And every time I ask you those questions at the start of a video, my intention is for you to reply with your own soul's voice. That's the invitation, right? I leave that on the altar. You can try it right now. How are you feeling? How is your heart? How is your body, that which hosts your soul? I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm always excited to be with you. I'm in my kitchen-ish. It's cozy. I have a cup of tea. I have some candles going. I have some incense going. And we're going to get into a message that came in like a lightning bolt. And sometimes messages do that. All is allowed. Sometimes they trickle in over days and weeks. And sometimes they are just like a flash of lightning. So much so that I wrote this one down. So I'm going to share the start of the message and then I'll read it to you. And then we will elaborate on it, right? As I am guided by my own soul, by its wisdom, and by all who are present with me right now in the field. The message is, you're meant to go slow. Period. Period. And I need to explain that to you, all of it, because it's a beautiful message. And also, just hello, I'm Maggie. For those of you who don't know, I'm a storyteller and a ritualist, and I help you hear your soul or the voice of your soul. It is the calm and all-knowing wisdom and language that surfaces from within when you get quiet and listen. I like to call it the language of love that is wishing to be at the surface, that is wishing to guide your life. For some of you, it does. For others, you're working on it. We're all working on it. We are humans and we are souls, and we take up the same space, right? The only beautiful advantage is that the soul actually is part of a bigger field, the field of all souls, the field of oneness. And it is a frequency that we can attune to lead with love, to live life in service of love, and to call in all the love that we seek outside of us. Nothing wrong with that, but the love's right here. All right, let's get to the message really quick. You're meant to go slow. Let me read it to you first because I felt like it was so powerful when I got it. You're meant to go slow. You're not doing anything wrong. Really, we promise. The slowness is part of the journey. It is part of the natural unfolding of you. Your emergence, your soul's emergence, is not meant to go viral overnight. It is not meant to happen in the blink of an eye. Your emergence happens slowly, like honey, softly running down a spoon. It's rich, it's evolving, it moves slowly like lava, and it is just as intense as lava. Your evolution, your emergence, the expansion of your work, your business, your creative endeavors, all of it is meant to evolve slowly, naturally, organically, in a timing that feels resonant to your soul, in a timing that matches up to the resonance of all sweet souls who are also emerging slowly and softly. So that was the message. It came in, 2 days ago. And I just quickly turned on my recording device and just allowed it to flow through me. And then I realized that we talk about all of this in my new group journey that's beginning next month. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to focus on the message because I think in the moment, the soul and the human within me were reconciling some part of my body of work, right? And some aspects of some projects that I am working on. In the moment, I could hear the human, the mind of the human, my mind, right? It's important to speak about these parts of us objectively and with neutrality. That is how we can understand each of them and allow the soul to actually deliver the message, deliver the meaning, and lead every aspect of life as often as possible, as much as your humanness and your nervous system will allow, right? We're doing our best here. But the human part of me was experiencing moments of anxiety. And I just heard my mind ask, I heard it in my head, why is this going so slow? And the soul stopped me and said, sit down. Sit down, turn on your recording device. It doesn't say phone, it says turn on your recording device. And I just released that beautiful message to help all the parts of me understand that I wasn't doing anything wrong and you were not doing anything wrong. The slowness of your journey, the intentionality of your journey, the softness of your journey is the journey. There is a meaning and a message in that part of your journey, in that part of your evolution. And also, we don't evolve into our higher selves like in an instant, in a snap. That just doesn't happen. There are moments when it happens, right? And then we snap right back into our human 3D selves, right? Because we got bills to pay and laundry to do and food to get on the table, all the things. For a soul to emerge is a lifetime. Like that process takes a lifetime, right? That's what we're here for. Now, there are some of us who are here for other things, right? And I was in a phase of my life at one point in my 20s and my 30s, even in my teens, when I was here to move really, really fast. And there are moments when I still do that. Like I can feel when something is for me and I can move for it very quickly or move toward it very quickly. That is not how I live all of my life today. That is just how I receive information. Today, now, as I am older and wiser, and as my measures of success have shifted or even just fallen away, right? I have unlearned what people say is success and have relearned it according to the guidance and the compass of my own soul. And that means for me that the journey is part of the process. And sometimes the journey is slow, right? And in that moment, my soul wished to assure me that I wasn't doing anything wrong. Not at all. In fact, I was doing everything right. That there is a meaning in the slowness of the journey, in the natural unfolding, right? My emergence is not meant to go viral overnight, right? Wisdom is not something you are born with. All right, I'll say there are some sweet souls in human bodies who instantly feel like they are the oldest of souls and have the wisdom of lifetimes in them, right? But in general, wisdom takes time to evolve from knowledge and experience, right? That comes with time. And so your emergence, your work, your business, your creative endeavors, the pursuit of a romantic partner, that is not necessarily meant to happen in the blink of an eye. Period. It just isn't. Not for all of us. Not for most of us. Many of us are here to be very intentional and move very slowly. And my emergence has been most noticeable the space in which I come into my wisdom and the messages, the transmissions from my soul and from the ancestors, the guidance I receive on the steps to take in my work. All of that comes in slowness. And for me, that means ritual. For me, that means ritualizing most aspects of my life. You know, it began with drinking ceremonial cacao. 10, 11 years ago, I began working with this beverage. And you may work with tea. You may even work with coffee. Like, all is allowed, right? There's nothing wrong. We're not going to villainize anything here. But for me, it was cacao because it was a medicine, a plant medicine of my lineage, and I was very curious about it. And over the course of 10 or 11 years, my heart shifted. My heart opened, right? And I used it in so many situations over so many lengths of time and realized that it slowed me down. It got me into the moment. It encouraged me to ritualize every moment and make many moments a bit of a prayer, right? Not necessarily to a God, but to presence, to being here right now. And so you're not doing anything wrong. You're being encouraged to slow down, to take your time, to really feel into each step moment by moment. And if you need a path for that, I heartily recommend ceremonial cacao. I heartily recommend buying your first little bit of it and using it with gratitude, reverence, and intention. And I actually have a free audio transmission over on my website where you can download me speaking to you as you prepare and sip your cacao for the first time, so that you can bring reverence into that process. So you can live those moments as if they are ceremony, because they are. Ceremony doesn't just happen when I'm in a room with 40 people, guiding them through sacred moments, right? Ceremony happens in life. Ceremony happens here. This process of speaking to you, this is a ritual. And I make it a ceremony by offering a lot of slowness, making space for the slowness, and also calling in my ancestors, and also honoring the Mayan sacred calendar, the energy of the day, the energies of the day, right? It becomes a ritual for me in that way. So cacao is one way you can go slow, right? And I think, yes, I still have a list of cacao discounts on my website, and I can link them in the description too. There are discounts to my favorite cacaos if you want to try them. There is another path to slowness, and it is subtle, right? But we are here for the subtle. We are here for the soft. If you were here watching, you are here for that. The path is following the call, the signs, the synchronicities, the magic of the ways in which the 5 elements wish to work with you. And that has been a call to slowness in and of itself for me over the last many years. If you've been here a bit, you know that I was first called to hear my soul and its voice in the forest, in the earth, touching the moss, touching the trees. And then I kept feeling this impulse to go to the sea, to go to the ocean, to stand by its waves, to even get in, to merge with the water. That was a call from water. It is a call. It is a call to intentionally interact with what the element wishes to evoke from you, right? And in the journey that I'm running beginning on May 15th, I will take you through that sacred elemental journey. We will work with all 5 elements, right? They are water, they are fire, earth, air, and then the 5th one is ether, and that is the stillness in which the soul speaks. And over this 3-month or 12-week journey, we will work with each element and allow it to hold us and amplify the love within us to call in all that we're seeking, right? This process is slow. I'm going to offer it to you in 12 weeks, and then you can take it and live your life in cyclical nature with the elements, with the rituals and the practices I offer you, with cacao if you so choose. And cacao is delicious, so why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you work with the food of the gods, right? That has been cultivated for centuries for you, for those here, to help you open your heart to more love, more compassion, more forgiveness. And what's really important is it opens your heart to all those things for you first. And that's like the really important, vital part of this journey. It is hard for us to service others when we are at a deficit. And thus, it's important for us to love and forgive and offer compassion to ourselves first. And eventually, you begin to do those things in harmony. But first, it's important for you to worship at the altar of you, to hold you, to soothe you through your choices. And so that is the message for today. Your slowness is part of your journey. And if you are critical, I'm hearing if you are critical of the slowness of your journey, that is a sign to bring curiosity to the slowness, to not critique what you have been doing or have not been doing, but to unlearn what you know about slowness and to remember that our presence, your presence, is the end all, be all of this life experience. Your presence. And presence requires slowness. It requires noticing. It is facilitated through ritual, through listening, right? So I leave all that on the altar, and I want you to know there will be a link to the 12-week journey that begins May 15th. And if you want a preview of that journey, I encourage you to sign up for my email list, because I am sharing private stories, private audio messages, and private videos to my email list that highlight this way of living, this way of surfacing love by listening to the soul, attuning to its frequency to call in all the love you seek. Because all of it arrives when you match it with love, right? So I leave all that on the altar. I am Always happy to be here. And I promise I'll be back again very, very soon.